Watch out, Cropsey's got himself a pair of gardening shears, and he knows how to use them.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you.
What up, gang? I'm Eric Harris, and welcome to the Death Twitch. This week we're going to talk about The Burning. Now, I don't mean that sensation you get when you go and take a pee. Obvious joke. I'm talking about The Burning, the camp slasher from 1981. This movie was voted on by my VIPs over at Patreon. You want to get in on the action, see some outtakes, and vote on upcoming reviews, go check that shit out. For now, The Burning from 1981. Roll trailer.
This summer, if you're planning to go camping, don't. Because this summer, a legend of terror isn't just a campfire story anymore.
They say he smashed his way through the bunk room door, just a mass of flames. Burned alive, he cried out, "I will return! I will have my revenge!" He lives on whatever he can catch. Right now, he's out there, watching, waiting.
Who's there?
What happened one summer 5 years ago is about to happen again, and again, and again. The Burning.
Alright, so The Burning came out in 1981 and was directed by Tony Maylam, who I would normally show you a picture of right now, but I absolutely cannot locate one, so I'll just do my best impression of what I think he looks like. I think it's something like this. So that's Tony Maylam. He directed this movie. The screenplay was written by Peter Lawrence and Bob Weinstein. It's based on a story by Tony Maylam, Bob Weinstein, and Brad Gray, who is now the CEO of Paramount. The Burning was produced by Harvey Weinstein, and it's basically the genesis of Miramax Films, as it was their first outing, and was funded by their parents, Mira and Max Weinstein. So, something about horror movies seems to be like the way to get your foot in the door into Hollywood. Like, pretty much, it seems like everybody starts in a fucking horror movie. And if that list of names I just read off is not enough to confirm that for you, here's some fucking more for you. This movie stars Jason Alexander from, that's right, Duckman!
You know, like those really ugly broads who are always yelling about equal rights when all they really need is a little honey in their hives.
So yeah, you thought I was going to say something else. We've also got Holly Hunter in this movie, plays a bit part. We've got Fisher Stevens in here. Tom Savini turned down the chance to do Friday the 13th Part 2 in order to do The Burning. And not to mention that this movie was directed by Jack Shoulder, who eventually would go on to direct A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. So, The Burning, upon first glance, it almost looks like it's just a Friday the 13th ripoff, but the truth of the matter is that Bob and Harvey Weinstein had begun work on the story and the idea before Friday the 13th was ever even released. And it is loosely based on an urban legend about Cropsey. Cropsey being a generic term on the East Coast for any kind of like serial killer that may reside in the woods. It's just kind of like an urban legend, like, oh, Cropsey's out there in the woods, he's gonna get you. Don't go in the woods, fucking Cropsey will get you. So this movie, I guess we should talk about the plot and shit. I guess you probably want to know that. Damn. Well, what happened is at some camp there was the camp janitor was widely hated by all the campers, so they decided to play a trick on him one night, put a gross burning skull up on his bedpost as he slept, and then when he saw it, he freaked out, knocked that shit on the bed, got himself all burnt the fuck up, to the point where he was sent to the hospital. They couldn't fix his mangled, burnt appearance, so he looks just like a monster. And there's this fucking hilarious goddamn scene in the beginning with the guy, I don't know, the dude, I don't know if he's like a paramedic or what, but he's like, grabs some doctor, he's like, hey, you want to see something fucked up? He's like, he builds this up for like, it seems like forever. He's just talking about, man, you ain't never gonna forget this. This is burnt.
A fucking Big Mac. Overdone. You know what I mean?
And so he goes to show him, and then Cropsey grabs him, and the guy looks like he shits himself. And then we move on to Cropsey gets released from the hospital with, voiceover narration talking about, sorry we couldn't help your appearance. I'm sorry that you're a fucking nasty monster that's going to scare little kids as you walk by the sidewalk. So he gets released from the hospital and he decides, I'm going to go kill a fucking prostitute for no reason. Why is that in the movie? Because this movie was meant to cash in on the slasher craze. So obviously somebody in the production was like, needs more kills. Have him kill a hooker. So I guess that's why the scene's in the movie. It absolutely does not fit, but whatever. There it is. I guess if you're a gorehound, the effects are great, so you get to see it kill. That's awesome. And then after that, it's like sometime later, I think it's like 5 years later or something, we're at a new camp that's kind of on the same lake, new group of campers who, all of them are so fucking fun to watch. All the characters that are introduced and the camp itself, the lake, the wilderness, everything has great character. The way that these characters get along and interact with each other, you can tell it was very, very well rehearsed. A lot of care was taken to make these characters seem like they knew each other and they get along like great, like famously. It's really fun just to watch this, and you've got some characters that dislike other characters. You got Glazer in there, who's like the camp bully. Nobody really likes him. He's always picking on everybody. Alfred, which is supposed to be our main character. He's like the weak, shy person that people generally don't really like. Honestly, he's supposed to be our main character. I do find that the Alfred character is pretty bland. He's boring, mostly pointless, kind of doesn't even really need to be there. But yeah, so we're introduced to this camp, and it's so much fun just watching this camp movie. Like, that's what happens to me when I'm watching The Burning. Once they jump into the camp scenes, I forget that I'm watching a horror movie. I'm just so like into this camp comedy movie that I'm watching, and then all of a sudden I get reminded that, oh yeah, I'm watching a horror movie. Every time like the POV of Cropsey comes around, POV with like the heartbeat soundtrack, boom, 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 boom. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm watching a horror movie. I forgot. I was so caught up in these fun characters. So that's something that this movie got right, characters, and by great actors. It's so, like, gets me so fucking into this movie that I actually do care when people get killed. I really do. I'm like, oh no, man, I liked that guy. So that's fucking pretty awesome. So although the characters are really fun to watch, there are some one-dimensional stereotypes going on, in contrast to the Friday the 13th movies where, the girls and the guys are all whores together. In this one, you got the dudes are all horn dogs that just want to have sex, and the girls are kind of teases, but they don't want to actually have sex. They just want to like lead the guy on or whatever. Yeah, again, the characters are pretty awesome in this movie, except when it comes down to the topic of sex. There's still these kind of stereotypes going on, and the guy just wants to fuck, and the girl just wants to cuddle or something. Give me Crystal Lake any day where the girls are actually DTF over there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, here's that. So as previously mentioned, Tom Savini came on to do The Burning after turning down the chance to do Friday 2. He turned down the chance to do Friday the 13th Part 2 because he didn't understand the script. He didn't understand how Jason could still be alive, how he's fully grown. He's like, I like the script for The Burning better.
The Burning came in. I actually turned down Friday the 13th Part 2 to do The Burning because Jason was running around in Friday the 13th Part 2. And as you know, there is no Jason. Jason was a kid that died in the first movie.
So he took this one. He unfortunately only had a few days to actually prepare a lot of these effects. So some of them are really, perfect Tom Savini. Some of them are just a little like, Most of it's pretty good though. One thing I do like about this movie is that it's not all about the killing. There really isn't a kill every 10 minutes. And again, that's why that whole kill the hooker scene was put in the beginning, because there's a long stretch where there's no deaths for quite a while. You just get to know these characters at this camp, which is way cool. That's what I like about this movie. And yeah, that's great. I don't actually need to see a kill every 10 minutes personally. I want to see a few, but give me something else, some kind of substance to my movie. And that's what this one does, so that's pretty awesome. I do want to say, as much as I love this flick, it does unfortunately fall apart for me at the end. Now at the end, it was supposed to take place in a boathouse. A big showdown between Cropsey and Alfred in a boathouse, and then the script got changed to a cave system, and then it got changed again to some kind of ruins. They're at some kind of ruins at the end of the movie. It kind of looks like a mine shaft / ruins. I don't even know. But it's not the location. It's just the fact that I felt like the climax could have been more powerful. I feel like it's a little weak. It does fall a little flat for me, which is unfortunate because I totally enjoyed the movie up until this point. Also, I want to say, despite the fact that they show, Cropsey getting burned again at the end, I feel like it was definitely meant to birth a franchise. I feel like that was the intention here, was it was going to be the Burning 2, the Burning 3, the Burning 4, and on and on. Just didn't happen because it failed to find its audience in the theaters. It has since become a cult classic, and for good reason. What else is there to say? I think I covered just about everything. You know what? Let's rate it. I'm going to give The Burning 4 stars. Because I love me some camp slashers, and this one's, it's a gem. It kind of deserves more credit than it gets. 4 out of 5. Check that shit out. What else can I say about your mom? Except this is her favorite finger. Holy shit. Shh, that's why. Shh. It's like, shh, don't tell them about what we did. By the way, give me that finger. I'm going to cut it here because that was just gross. And I got to go. I got to go to church. See you later.